Her first speaking engagement, the White House, at age 19, and she got there by cold calling the President of the United States. Now, we have the absolute privilege of having what I think is one of the best speakers I've ever heard. Here to help us jumpstart our next 100 years of success, please join me in welcoming Joy Baldridge.
There was an article in Fortune magazine. It said that without two characteristics, you would not be able to sustain a business in this millennium. And those two characteristics are flexibility and adaptability. Because when you're rigid, you break. And relationships break from that rigidity. So keeping in mind flexibility and adaptability could be your vision statement for the future. I came up with 3 ways not to talk because I'm a talker. That's my profession. I'll tell you the 3 ways. You decide if you can do them or not. The first is to bite your tongue. And I literally bite my tongue. I was told that you can tell the signs of a good marriage by the number of bite marks on the tongue of the people in the marriage. So you bite your tongue. So bite your tongue in a place that you don't think anybody's going to see. Like I can do it very naturally. Can you tell? I practice because I can't go left, I can't go straight. I got to go right or it looks peculiar. So see if you can find a spot to gently bite your tongue and turn to someone near you and see if you look peculiar. Go ahead. How are you looking? And then you learn so much more. So number 1 tip for not speaking, because you're asking questions, you don't want to answer your own question, is to bite your tongue. The second active listening idea is, I call, drink heavily. What I mean by that is I have opportunities where I can actually drink water or tea when I'm with a client. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But I know when I'm drinking, I can't talk. So I'll ask a question, what's most important to you about? And then I take a sip. And then I'll say, and why is that? And I take another sip. And it's amazing how much money I've made drinking. It's incredible. Because I just ask the question and then I take a sip. And it prevents me from talking. You have to ask them questions. So those who ask the questions have the power. Those who prepare most win. So be prepared with the word really. Be prepared with the question. What's most important to you about? Why is that? Anything else? Really? And also, the third most critical golden nugget is that people are persuaded most by their own words. People are persuaded most by their own words. So listen to the words that they say and use those words in conversations with them so that they can relate to you. You build a stronger bond. My mother told me to come home from school on spring break, freshman year of college, and she said I was coming home because she wanted me to learn how to sell. And she said, because without sales, you have nothing. I said, wow, okay, I'll come and learn how to sell. I said, what do I do? We had a speed reading company, and she said, well, she said, I want you to make a call to the president. I said, the president of what? She said, our country. I said, you want me to call Jimmy Carter? That's who was president when I was 19. So I said, why? Why am I calling the president of the United States? And she said, because he needs us. I said, how do you know? We had a small business in Greenwich, Connecticut. We just taught people how to read faster. She opens the New York Times. She points to a direct quote. The quote said from Jimmy Carter, I wish I could read faster like JFK. My mother wholeheartedly believed that this was a hot lead. She said, call him. I said, you got the number? And she gave it to me. So I called him. He wasn't there. But somebody answered and said, send information. And we did. And 6 months later, we got a call from the White House. And the Baldridges went to Washington. And what I find fascinating about that whole experience is that my mother wanted to grow her business. And she looked for ways and opportunities in all different sources. And then she decided if she just looked for opportunity, made connections, made a phone call, and didn't know where it was going to take her, that it was worthwhile. And she would say, someone somewhere is looking for exactly what you have to offer. To gain 3 to 5 hours of time in your week, the ++ dash says that you say 2 positive things and then you dash off. So 2 positive things and then you dash off. So the more that you can minimize the interruption, the more that you can minimize the conversation, the more time you'll be able to reclaim in your day, and you can actually get it back. Now, since so many people are in this room, if you want, you can use a shorter version of the ++ dash, and you just turn to the person and say, ++ dash at dinner? And that just means, I'm nice, you're nice, gotta go. So Danny, ++ dash, lunch tomorrow? Great. And Steph might not want to say ++ dash because it takes too long. So we'll just say PPD, PPD, I'm nice, you're nice, gotta go. So this is a way that you can use as code in your pharmacies to save time. I said, Wilson, if you had only listened to me yesterday, and he clenched his fist with rage, and he said, Mom, it will never be yesterday, so why do you keep talking about it? It will never be yesterday. So I thought, that's profound. I better write that one down. So I didn't know, because my son is my child, and I thought, he's 5. They say cool things at 5. I said to a client that afternoon, I said, tell me if this is just something that I think is cute because he's my son, or if this will help you. And I said, my son said it will never be yesterday, so why do you keep talking about it? She thought a minute and said, Joy, that comment alone would have saved me 10 years of therapy. So it will never be yesterday. You have to think, what are you going to do to further your success for tomorrow?
This is Jenna Beth Ferguson, Vice President and Symposium Director with JD Events. Joy Baldridge was our opening keynote here at the 26th Healthcare Facilities Symposium and Expo. She was exactly what we wanted to kick off the event, with high energy, great optimism, and let everyone sort of open their minds to learning and networking over the next 3 events. I was getting texts and emails throughout her speech and how extraordinary she was, and continue to hear just amazing feedback.